We now return to Seacoast Sunday Morning with Kelly Brown.
We are joined by Meghan Rothschild today, Melanoma Foundation of New England. And you're a melanoma survivor and spokesperson for the Melanoma Foundation of New England. But you're 10 years now melanoma-free?
Yes, it's officially 10 years, which is really exciting.
Were you a tanner? What's your story? How did you get skin cancer, Meghan?
I was definitely a tanner. I was 17 years old when I started my I call it my bad skin behavior. I, like any other teenage girl, had a lot of insecurities and was always worried about my skin tone and that I always looked pale and pasty. And so I started using tanning booths and just kind of abandoned all sunscreen, never wore sunscreen when I went outside on the beach and all that. And about 2.5 years of doing that, with a regular routine of visiting a tanning booth just once a week, I spotted this suspicious-looking mole on my stomach and brought it to my doctor's attention. And she actually kind of looked at it and said, "Oh, it's fine, it's normal, you don't need to worry about it." And I really didn't feel right about it, so I pushed and demanded that it be removed. And it was just a week after that I was diagnosed with stage 2 melanoma.
How old were you, Meghan?
I was 20 years old.
I remember going on a Caribbean cruise, I think it was, and, this is 15, 20 years ago, and it was kind of still in, and, I went into a tanning bed for a couple times, 2-3 times to get that base tan. But
sure.
Obviously, the times have changed since then. But there's still some teenagers, still young adults that are tanning, and you're encouraging teens to, sign a pledge?
Yeah, so the Melanoma Foundation, this is our 7th annual Your Skin Is In pledge drive. And what this does is it urges people to sign a pledge stating that they won't seek UV exposure to obtain a tan. Now, that UV exposure can be from the sun, it can be from a tanning booth. It is what it is. But we're asking people to make a conscious effort to start protecting their skin. It's your body's largest organ, and we take it for granted.
And basically still the best skin protection SPF.
30 or above and every 2 hours. Yeah, and even in the wintertime. We've got a lot of skiers, snowboarders, people who like to be outside in the cold winter months. You should be wearing it all year round.
Have you seen a cultural change at all over the years since you've been involved of the youth now compared to, say, 20 years ago and a lot more are staying away?
Yeah, absolutely. What we've seen is that people are more educated about the dangers of tanning booths and about the dangers of UV exposure. When I was going tanning, I actually had a family friend who was a nurse who told me it was healthy and it was a great way to get your vitamin D. Nowadays, Nobody in their right mind would say that. People understand the risks. For the most part, they understand the risks, and they know that UV radiation can cause cancer.
Now you're traveling to schools across New England, educating teens about the dangers of tanning as well?
Absolutely. We've been able to reach over 100,000 students in the last 6 years. So we're just continuing to fight the good fight and hope we can bring it to as many schools as possible in the New England region.
Just a story today I saw that skin cancer jumps 75% in those who use tanning beds before the age of 30. Yes. What about the spray tans? Is that safe?
Spray tans are safe, yeah. What we always say is, spray tan's not going to give you a base tan, so you don't think your skin is tan. If you get spray tan, you still have to wear SPF. And the other thing with spray tans is you want to make sure they have non-toxic ingredients, because we don't know yet what's going on with, breathing that in through the lungs. There haven't been many tests done about what you're actually putting inside your body when you breathe it in. So just make sure that the ingredients are non-toxic and know that it's not giving you, a base tan.
You contracted skin cancer at the age of 20. You had it surgically removed. Was other treatments as well that went along with that? And how often do you have to get checked for skin cancer?
I had to have 8 lymph nodes removed in addition to having the skin cancer taken out, and then they go in and they clear the margins. So they cut a huge chunk of my stomach out, and then they went in and took lymph nodes from under both arms, where I had to have drainage tubes sewn in for a few days, and it was quite the recovery process. I luckily didn't need to go to interferon or have, anything. It wasn't past stage 2. So my melanoma hadn't traveled inside the body, which was really good news. But it's a lot more than people think. People think, skin cancer, you get it cut off and taken out. But it's definitely a more intense process than that.
If somebody's out there listening right now, how do you do a self-exam?
Well, the really great thing to know is that once a month you should be looking for what they call the ABCDEs. And all that's available on the Melanoma Foundation's website. But it's asymmetrical moles, moles with weird borders is the B. C is color, so any spot that has any type of pigmentation. It could be brown, black, red, or even blue. D is diameter, any spots on your body that are larger than a pencil eraser. And then E, evolution. If you have any new spots or any spots that are changing, all of those warning signs, and they don't have to be all of them at the same time. You don't have to have A, B, C, D, and E. You can just have A or D. It's something that you would want to get checked out by a dermatologist.
For more information, you can go to mfne.org. That's the Melanoma Foundation of New England. Meghan Rothschild, 10 years now as a survivor of skin cancer. Is it tough to get diagnosed once you go to the doctor's office?
If the problem is that you have to be your own advocate. And you have to go, and if you go to your doctor and there's a spot and they tell you it's fine, but you don't feel right about it, demand to have it removed or go to a dermatologist. We always tell people that dermatologist is really your best bet because they're the skin specialist. So just, be your own health advocate, and if you don't feel right about something, really be vocal and push to have it taken off.
And especially this time of year, you're seeing a lot of college students go to the Caribbean or Florida or whatever, and still, they want to get that quote-unquote base tan before they go. And the truth is, there's no safe tan, right, Megan?
There is no safe tan. A tan is your body's response. It's actually DNA damage. It's putting up a shield to protect itself because you're beaten up on it. So there is no such thing as a healthy tan. Get the spray tan, do the sunless tanners because they are a safer alternative. Don't think that, getting a base tan, that's a myth. There is no such thing as a base tan or a healthy tan.
Meghan Rothschild from the Melanoma Foundation of New England, encouraging teens to sign Tanning Is Out pledges. You can go to mfne.org. It's the 7th annual pledge drive. Meghan, thanks a lot for talking to us today.
Thank you so much for having me.